Lionel?
Well, first of all, I was gonna say, you say waiting on him to move on from the kids from the Fobbs area, but to me, like, what is like we saying that like Broderick Fobbs wasn't doing his thing at Grambling though. That's the first thing. It's almost as if we need to get away from the Fobbs era, as if Fobbs he coached for 8 years, I think 7 years at Grambling.
7, 8 years. Right?
So, and he won what? I think he won SWAC 4 times. He went to two. No, was it? Yeah, 4 times. I went to 2 Celebration Bowls, right? One Celebration Bowl in 7 years. So even when we talk about getting away from the Fobbs era, Grambling trying to get back to the Fobbs era. That's really the reality of the situation. You know what I'm saying? But for me in general, I mean, it's good for us at PV. Listen, Southern in disarray, Grambling in disarray. I mean, hey, Texas Southern trying to find a coach. Listen, Alabama State, y'all, Jackson, FAMU, just gone fight out the next 2-3 years. Do whatever y'all do in the East. We'll see y'all in a SWAC championship game. Hey, listen, because for me, like I always say, it's PV versus everybody. But it's at the end of the day, to me, they didn't give him enough time, right? I mean, for what he was trying to build at Grambling, right? And I feel like that trajectory was going up.
Yeah,
the season end like they wanted to end, but he was moving on an upper trajectory, right? With the players he getting in, with the connections he was making for Grambling, period, point blank, right? You got to start there too, right? So it makes absolutely no sense for them to like jump away from Hue Jackson so quick like this. But I mean, if y'all gonna make stupid decisions, listen, I'm gonna take advantage of it. You know what I'm saying? And and my hometown, Monroe, Louisiana, right? So right now, ULM, they can be stupid if they want to too, because they got a built-in coach right there who's done it in the same area, right? So they can do right by Fobbs, right, and really give him an opportunity to run this ULM program, which is one of the it's not a well-funded program, right? But they can give him an opportunity because he's right there in their hands. But again, I'm from North Louisiana. Sometimes we don't do stuff that makes sense. So, I don't know what they're going to do either. But Grambling is tripping. Yeah.
Y'all got anything to add on, man?
Can I go ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I think, like y'all said, two years isn't enough time. You ask a coach to change a culture. That's what you hire a new coach for. Especially if you've been losing, you got all of this stuff going on. You want a new coach to come in, change your culture. Changing the culture don't happen overnight. And I think another thing when we talk about like the Deion comparison or whatever, Deion also like he came in with a plan of like, all right, I know I got my sons, I got my recruits coming in, I know what I got. Quarterback is a big position. I don't think there was any doubt in Deion's mind. As soon as he got that job, Shedeur Sanders is going to be my starting quarterback when I start.
It was written in stone before he even set foot.
Exactly. Hue didn't get that opportunity. I mean, to be honest with you, I can't even remember the dude that was supposed to, because wasn't there? He had a quarterback at first that was supposed to be transferring in, didn't end up playing. And then this year he came in and got Miles. So like anytime we've seen that with us, we've seen that with a lot of other programs, you got to have a quarterback. He didn't even get a chance to really get a quarterback, or if he got Miles and Miles was going to be your quarterback moving forward, he didn't even really get an opportunity to play with him. Like, you got all of these new ideas, you got all of these things that you're trying to get with him, you won't even get no opportunity with him. So I think when you think of Hue Jackson's time at Grambling, you also got to think about the fact that you did not give the man an opportunity to establish a culture, to do what he needed to do, and then you just kick him out. So yeah, absolutely, I completely agree with y'all. He didn't get enough time. He should have been there longer. I think people get obsessed with like the microwavable. All right, we gonna win it. We gonna do this. We gonna do that. This and that is gonna happen in this year. This and that is gonna happen in that year. That would take time. I understand this is college football. I understand this is a business, but at the end of the day, you have to be patient with this stuff, because ultimately, I got a question. This is a question for y'all. Ultimately, who are you gonna hire? You gonna hire another big name and expect them to change the culture in a year and a half, or are you going to take some time and be patient, which you could have did with you anyway?
Exactly.
So when you look at it, there's still some coaches that's out there right now. One name that Kim Rashad put out there was Rod Milstead. He was the head coach over at Delaware State, and he was kind of like in the same situation at Dale State with the, not enough funding for the football team, but he made away with what he had. And he was unceremoniously let go last season. You're looking at the big fish out there. Basically, first of all, is Black Thanos, aka Chennis Berry, over at Benedict. Keep that man, in South Carolina, because if he come over into the SWAC, oh my God, he'll tear it all up. You got them, Trey Oliver is a name that people been looking at. You got Anton Sewell for Morgan State, the defensive coordinator. And of course, y'all know, what he was at Bama State too, was he? He was at Bama State. Yeah. So his name popping. Courtney Cord, his name is popping from North Carolina Central. Another person I'm looking at that might be ready is Matt Leone, who's the offensive coordinator for Central. You got I'm just saying, you got a lot of coaches out there that's available for these jobs. Like you said, SWAC West, 4 out of the 6 teams don't have a head coach right now. 4 out of the 6 teams in the SWAC West don't have a head coach. If my co-host Mr. Ford was on here, and Lionel, you was here. I think you was on here before, where he fired. He's like he was gonna fire the whole division as far as head coaches go. And just to think about it, I think the word was prophetic because he done said what he said. Like, look, he said Dooley needed to be gone. He's like, Hue Jackson might not be here for long. We've already said about Clarence McKinney. And that's 3 right there. So Grambling, Southern, Texas Southern. And then don't know about Alcorn because, hey, McNair, he was playing, he was coaching on his final on this last year, his deal. So you don't know about that right there. So
I just want to say, McKinney and Texas Southern getting to finish out his contract and Hue Jackson not being able to is kind of insane to me. I just want to say.
Oh, that's crazy.
Ain't lying.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
But and Dooley didn't get to finish out his contract either.
That's another firing that was kind of questionable to me and Kendal because, he just went to the SWAC championship last year. He didn't win, but he was there.
But I would say like
2 years. I mean, technically, right, when you think about it, 2 years in a row.
Right.
With Prairie View.
What, 12 and 10?
His and Southern, yes.
Yeah.
He was 12 and 10. He's at Prairie View. Cause you gotta realize when Willie had the team at Prairie View, Willie had the team for success. He gave, they hired Dooley because Dooley was on the staff. When Dooley got the team, it felt like the team kind of, you still had some success, but it kind of regressed. And then you see in 21, I wouldn't say they backdoor, would you say you backdoor yourself into the SWAC championship game? I mean, I wouldn't say that. I think y'all won. I think because y'all won the division outright.
Yeah, and in that year, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't really use those terminologies at the end of the day. Listen, you either get in or you don't get in.
Right. So. And then he goes to Southern because I think when in that championship game, his mind wasn't even on the game. His mind was going down to Baton Rouge. I'm gonna be 100 with y'all. His mind was already in Baton Rouge. His mind was in New Orleans trying to figure out who he gonna get.
We supposed to be talking about 2023. Why are we talking about 2021?
Because it leads all up to this. Because he regressed when he got to Southern. He regressed when he got to Southern. It's like, dude, what did you do? The issue that you had with the QB in 22 is the same thing you had in 23.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, that's facts.
Look, Blood, I'm not gonna say anything. I can't say nothing bad about Harold Blood. I mean, he's a phenomenal kid. You know what I'm saying? But you had a better quarterback than him that was sitting on the bench. That came from Grambling. Come on, Noah Bowden. See, and that's another thing. Get back to the Hue Jackson situation, and I don't know if anybody seen the interview I did with Bruce Eugene earlier this year. Like he sent that kid down there from New York to Louisiana to make a name for himself, to get the team, because he trusts, and he sent him down there with fives. He played 4 games with him. Hue Jackson come in, he didn't even get a look. He transfers. You seen him in the Bayou Classic, he balled out. So they just, to me, I don't know. I with Dooley, I don't know what he does with QB talent, because that's 2 years in a row where you screwed up the quarterback decision.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
This is really, I feel like this is just a microcosm of the reality of the conversation that the question you asked in general. Because even 2 years ago, when I had a conversation with my dad, it's just like, listen, right now when Deion came in as a lightning rod, it's like as a SWAC, MEAC, SIAC, whatever, you can try to do it one or two ways. You either go this Deion route or you can go this Buddy Pugh route. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what's your university? Where are you based? Which route do you think is best for you? And I remember back then when I was having a conversation, like, because I'm from North Louisiana, Grambling area, used to go to all Grambling games, Jackson State, Alcorn, right? So I'm like, listen, at PV, we can't go to Deion route. You know what I'm saying? We'll be more closer to the Buddy Pugh route, right? Mm-hmm. And when you talk about, I think Blue mentioned it earlier, the issue that we talk about with all these schools in the SWAC at the end of the day is who got a quarterback that could get the job done. That's it. So when you come in with Shedeur Sanders, if they don't have Shedeur Sanders, let's just be real, right? If y'all don't have Shedeur Sanders, y'all not going undefeated them 2 years in the SWAC. It's not happening. Y'all may still win the SWAC, right? But I'm just saying, y'all not going undefeated like that. Shedeur covered all the ills. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. We talk about this year, Jeremy Musa, for all that, FAMU has given to him, right? He's been the best quarterback consistently this year. I would say Aaron Allen, to me, he's my number 2, right? But he's consistent, right? And when Aaron Allen got the rolling, what happened with Alcorn? They got to rolling.
They got the rolling. I think Aaron Allen, to me, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm gonna be real with all y'all. I think Aaron Allen is the better QB than Jeremy Musa.
I said this back in September because I definitely, when they played us, right?
Yeah.
And this is, I think I go based off of what you did against our defense, because I feel like our defense was the best in the SWAC. Aaron Allen picked our defense apart, up and down the field. And Jeremy Musa, I mean, he scored his points for sure, but it wasn't with ease. It wasn't like, I'm just better than y'all. We got the better team talent wise. But Aaron Allen was definitely the better quarterback to me. But I want to go back to a point y'all talking about. We're going to Deion route.
Yeah,
I think that people take the Deion route for granted because there's only one Deion. When Deion left, he was like, I gave y'all the game plan, but you don't. I gave y'all the game plan to be successful. I gave TC the game plan, and I gave HPs the game plan. But you're Deion Sanders in the day. You're with the Michael Jordans, the LeBron James.
There's only one Deion Sanders.
But you also got to realize too, it's only one Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, he gave us the game plan. and everything. But he also took his game plan. He also took his ball and his game plan on the Colorado.
Yeah.
So I can't really say that he gave us a game plan and stuff like that because your name is Deion. Your name is Deion Lewis Sanders Sr.
The only person that can replicate what Deion did is probably Ray Lewis.
I don't even think Ray Lewis can. Deion is the game plan. It's him. He is the game plan.
Deion different. So Deion different because he got the legendary status on the field, but he also got the personality. Right, period. Like that personality, he didn't really even have to recruit like that. Your personality, hey, you coming with me, baby? You know what's up, baby? Like this, like it's not. You're not gonna get that from everybody.
Right.
Like you can wear as many suits as you want to. You can bring the Louis badge. You can bring the whip. You can bring whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you're not gonna be Deion. Like it's more than just the material stuff.
Right. And I don't think a lot of people understood that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, you took the plan with you and you took it up to Colorado and you try to use that same plan that you did at Jackson State. You see what's going on now. It's not working. It's not working. And you got more problems up there than what you had at Jackson State in the 3 years that you was there.
And if you would have stayed at Jackson State one more year, you could have went back to Texas where you originally were and took the Texas A&M job and had plentiful resources.
Don't do that.
Plentiful resources.
Oh my God, bro! Okay. Texas A&M, man, is. I'm sorry. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I said this last time. Jimbo Fisher is my hero. That you can get fired.
Oh yeah,
you can get fired with 2 games left in the season and still collect close to $80 million. And just
more money in your fire.
More money, no problems.
No more money, man. Just to sit at the house, not do anything. But somebody gonna come pick him up though.
That's now what y'all talking about though is that's the reason why Deion plan can't work at Colorado because you not recruiting against Campbell. You recruiting against USC. All the recruits Deion bring in, I think they was number 20 last year. They was like number 4, number 5 in the Pac-12. You see what I'm saying? So it's like even with Deion being Deion, well now you're competing against USC. Now you're competing against UCLA, Washington. Like you listen, we bringing in 5 and 4 stars too. So it's a completely different level. So I don't look at it as Deion is failed or anything like that because I feel like it's the same conversation we're having about Hue Jackson or about Dooley. You see what I'm saying? If people expected Deion to go up there and take a team that was 1-11 and they're gonna be bowl eligible, like, wow, that's amazing. That was awesome, right? So I wouldn't expect that Deion gonna do that in his first year. I expect now he moved to the Big 12 for him to be able to be bowl eligible next year based on the schedule they got, right? But I don't expect him to win the Big 12 next year. You know what I'm saying? Because
he's not gonna do that.
Another thing is at when you're recruiting at the Power 5 level, you don't need just one Travis Hunter. You need a Travis Hunter at every position. You need a Shador Sanders at every position.
You also need them trenches too. You need them dudes in them trenches. That makes the biggest difference in the world.
Nick Saban and Kirby Smart, they got Travis Hunters on the bench and the third string on the practice squad. And that's another thing. They gotta figure out what they want to do with Travis. We're not talking about Colorado, but either he's gonna be a corner, a full-time corner, or a full-time receiver. I don't think him playing both sides of the ball for the majority of his collegiate career is gonna be sustainable.
Well, he got one more year anyway, and I think he's gone after his junior year
for sure.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. I think a man that somebody might have a look at, maybe to come into the SWAC, Mike Minter from Campbell. You know what I'm saying? I think he might be a good addition into the SWAC. Because he can recruit. He's an ex-NFL player. Even though he does have, because he got the Carolina roots because he's been in Carolina for so long. Played with the Panthers, went over the head coach over at Campbell. But I think he might be able to come in and revive some with the recruiting on the recruiting aspect. And I know people are gonna look at his record, but I don't look at his record. I just look at what he can do. I can look what he can do with bringing players in. Like 3 stars and lower and develop, and to get there and to develop them. And so that's what another thing that I see with the firing of Hue Jackson is the fact that at least Hue was developing his players. Like you seen Miles Crawley as a quarterback, and not saying that he was a bad quarterback at Bama State, but you see what he did when he got to Grambling. You know, he was balling. You know what I'm saying? He hit a rough patch. You know, everybody hits that little rough patch here and there in the season. But when he got to Grambling, he was balling. You can't take nothing away from that because I feel like he got developed by the right person. You talking about a dude that can develop a quarterback, single-handedly. I ain't gonna say make him a 5-star or make him a all-pro. He makes all pros, but I'm just saying he can develop a QB. But I think that's what he was doing at Grambling, and then you just pull the plug off of it, and now it's like your whole football program is on life support because not only will you pull the plug on Hue, now you pull the plug on all these recruits that's about to jump their ass, that's about to decommit, and then you got your players on your team that's on the team right now that's about to jump into the portal.
And this is one of his best recruit classes coming in this next season for Hue Jackson. So
it kind of feel like sabotage, to be honest, because I mean, like now that everybody gone, like not even just Hue, but we talked about the coordinators and the other coaches that was gone too. Like, that's my position coaches, or that's my coordinator, that's my recruiter. Like that's the people that I came for. Now that they gone, all right, what's left for me?
Right.
Cam Newton is not coming to coach. I'm sorry, I just had to read that comment. Cam Newton is not coming to coach.
Nah, he ain't gonna do that.
I really think the celebrity coaching hire is over, to be honest.
I don't think he ain't gonna come over. Let me see. I'm looking at it like this. Because shout out to Yard Talk, because Yard Talk is all day, every day Grambling. But she put out there the positions that would let go today, other than the head coach. So she said Grambling State football will need a new head coach, defensive coordinator, special teams analyst, safeties coach, special teams coach, defensive line coach. So that means the offensive coordinator is still there, the running backs coach, the wide receivers coach, and the O-line.
Kind of sad about that defensive coach going.
That's crazy. And that's Cedric Thornton, dog. Oh man, I don't know, man. I think he was lined up to be a head coach too, Coach Thornton. And for those that don't know who Coach Cedric Thornton is, that is Dawn Thornton, the head coach for UAPB. That's her husband right there. For the women's basketball team, that is her husband. But that's crazy though, man. Like, and because to me, I don't think if you're gonna clean house, if you're gonna just get rid of the coaches, just the defensive coaches, you might as well just go ahead and clean the whole house and start over with a whole brand new slate.
Right.
Because if you bring in a new coach, like he probably gonna want his own people in there in those spots as well. So like, what's the point?
Right. Now I would leave at least two, like bring two back from the previous staff because they gotta have somewhere where you get what I'm saying? Like they know the lay of the land.
Right.
I mean, you gotta also think some of these coaches they may be looking at leaving based on who has been a big pool on recruiting certain players that's still there too, right? Because you're right, they are going to lose some people in the portal, but you want to mitigate those losses too, right, as well, and keep some players so that way it's not really a major, you don't have major turnover to where you're completely starting over at the end of the day. So that may also be another conversation that John Simon had with, the AD there to say, hey, I want to keep these coaches on based on these players that got a connection with those specific position coaches too.
Now I got a question for y'all. Do y'all, if you're Miles Crawley and you just transferred from ASU where they got a new coach after staying there for the 3 years. For your senior year, are you transferring?
Did he graduate? That's the first thing. That's the first thing you're looking at. Did he graduate?
I'm not sure.
Is he coming in as a grad? Is he leaving out as a grad transfer? Because he was at Bama State. Did he graduate from Bama State, or he just left out?
He just left out.
Okay. So first thing first is he going to graduate? Because even though the coach got fired, he already used his one freebie for transferring. Because if you transfer again, you're gonna have to sit out, and then it's gonna be all for nothing.
You're right.
But if he's graduating, let's just say if he's graduating in the spring, or he's graduating in next month. If he graduates next month, then he has it's no issue. He can go. He can go wherever he can go, please. But if he's waiting, spring, I will wait for the spring to leave out, put my name in the portal, and wait for the spring. Because it's just going to be, I won't say it'll be a waste of time, but he's going to lose something. Somebody said, I thought you could transfer to coach's league. Well, you can, but because Miles had already transferred, he can't transfer and have immediate eligibility on the new team. So that's the only issue. Remember, the NCAA changed the rules up this past spring about the transfer rules. So because they knew, you knew with the transfer portal coming in that a lot of kids were going to cycle in and transfer, and they were going to go anywhere and everywhere. So it was going, it's like basically a free agency. No, they is not touching that man right there. They is not touching that. That's too much violence. That's worse than what with the Art Brown situation. I think that was another issue too, because with Art Brown coming in on campus and a lot of the older alums and spearheaded by Doug Williams, they didn't want all that backlash and stuff. I'm like, dude, he's not being the head coach. He's just coaching your offense. That was some backlash right there. Texas Southern, their issue is, and this is a Texas thing. We talked about this. I had talked about this before with Dr. Khalil. If you don't have a good relationship with high school, with the high schools in Texas, with these coaches in Texas, you could just kiss going to that high school and getting a recruit goodbye, because they are not letting you in that door. You cannot alienate the Texas High School Coaches Association, because they can, they spread the word quick. Hey, such and such trying to come in and get a kid. What school? Let's just say Texas A&M. Jimbo got flamed for that. Nah, we ain't gonna let him touch with none of our kids. We're not even gonna let him see him. In fact, if he walked to the door telling he got to turn around, that's how they gonna do it. That's how they gonna do a coach like that. So getting a coach in for Texas Southern that knows the landscape of the state of Texas is really not the whole state, but I'm gonna just tell you from 35 to Interstate 10 in San Antonio, I-10 west to Houston, 59 north up to East Texas. That's your stomping ground right there. And then you still got to navigate. You got probably what? Lionel, probably give me an estimate number. Like how many Division I schools within like probably like a 3 hour radius?
In Texas, it's a lot,
just
man.
from Houston, period.
Yeah, it's a lot, to be honest. 3 hours is big. It's a lot. 3 hours. I mean, depending on where in Houston you're talking about, you reaching Dallas. So, you know what I'm saying? You also including a lot of those programs up there too. So it's crazy.
So you got that situation right there. And basically the first thing you got to do is recruit Houston. You got to get the kids coming. You got to get the Houston kids to stay home, because those kids, once they finish their career in high school in Houston, they want to go somewhere else, unless they go into the University of Houston, which is across the street.
I think another thing too is important with that is also connecting with winning programs. Like there's a difference in getting kids from anywhere, right, in Texas or in Louisiana, for example, right? I don't know Alabama high school football that well, right? You know what I'm saying? But there's a difference in getting somebody from anywhere and maybe somebody from Hoover, right? I remember Hoover, you know what I'm saying, had their own show.
That's where I'm from.
So, listen, I remember Hoover had their own show back in the day, you feel me? So, I know you get somebody from Hoover, that's different. Like they understand what it takes to win. They come from a winning program, right? In high school. So I also think it's something about connecting with schools that have a winning culture already and bringing them into your program, especially when you start about establishing something new. You know what I mean? Because you gotta teach people how to win. Like you hear this all the time, especially like NBA, you know what I'm saying? NFL, it's like learning to win, right? Learning to close games, etc. So if you're dealing with kids who already understand what that is and what that means, you've already done, 70% of the work, right? So it's not just like we're gonna grab people from a certain area, right? It's about tapping into them, and that's why you say, right, having these connections is important. Because you're talking about tapping into specific programs, right, across the state. To me, that's highly important. You know what I mean?
And when you really think about this, the three schools we talked about, Texas Southern, Grambling, and Southern, they all have something in common. They all have an AD that I don't think taps in with, towards the football program a lot. Dr. Granger for Texas Southern is basketball. He specifically about basketball. Travion Scott, I can kind of lean that he knows about football, but I don't know if he really, really cares about football. Roman Banks, his issue was he hired his homeboy. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest with you. It's just those three ADs. It's like, do you care enough about winning? You know what I'm saying? Southern and Grambling has a tradition. They have a mystique of tradition in HBCU football. They are a blue blood. Some people say they not, but I'm gonna say they are. Texas Southern, you're trying to get them there. I know another. I'm gonna be honest with you. Now we're gonna go to the East. I think everybody in the East is locked down, except for his one coach up the highway from y'all in Alabama.
Like I told Kendal last night, the Coach Maynard and the Kill Glass is like the Brady and Bill Belichick. What have you done for me since Kill Glass has left? You to go.
That's a great analogy.
4 different quarterbacks this year, or 3 different quarterbacks this year.
Hey, they the Paw Patrol. That's what I call them. They the Paw Patrol. I couldn't give them pound puppies. Josh already gave that to North Carolina A&T.
I mean, so, but what happens to A&M from here? You talking about since the Kill Glass left, you haven't made the SWAC championship. You have had you had a losing season last year, if I'm not mistaken, and then didn't they have a losing season this year too, if I'm not mistaken. So that's what were they 6-5 this year?
What is 65? Let me get my.
Either way, whichever is the case, that's
5-6.
5-6.
Another losing season. So you go from the top of the mountain to you just drop after that. I feel like his job could be at risk if they don't have success next year, especially if they can't. Because his success, because Maynard's is an offensive coach. Your offense should always be the best, and their offense was pretty good this year. But I still feel like his job should be at risk for sure. And another important thing. I'm sorry, I'm rambling, but you've lost the most important game in a lot of alums' eyes in the Magic class the last 2 years to a first-time head coach. You lose another one, you go down 3-0, and not only did you lose this year, you got dominated in the Classic. So,
yeah, and then for some people say you lost to a real estate agent.
I mean,
some people, hey, he must have been doing something right. This ain't
a regular real estate agent, though. Let's be clear, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a real estate agent that played, you know what I'm saying, in the league. Like, we're not talking about no regular real estate agent off the street who just been doing, you know what I'm saying, selling houses his whole life, right? So, you know,
I mean,
you know,
when you're talking about a person, a guy who's played in the NFL, understands the game.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had been watching. He wasn't around the program because he was in the NFL. He was out in Texas. But you can't tell me, based off the way he's came in and turned around this program, he wasn't watching the school from afar. It's just no way.
Sure.
So
right
now, and everybody got blind spots. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody got blind spots, right? So but you can see again, we talk about a program that's building. That's what Bama State is doing right now, right? This is a program that's building, right? They continue to get better, finishing second this year in the East. Like, that's great improvement to say, hey, we got over the Jackson hump. We got to obviously get over it next year, right? The next mountain to climb is FAMU in order to get in the SWAC championship game. So they're building. Now, he may have to come in and say, well, I need somebody to come in on my side to deal with the blind spot that I have maybe on the offensive end. But I mean, how many coaches can go coach offense and defense? That's not many at all that can do that, right? You know what I'm saying? Right. So to me, that's not like an indictment on Eddie Robinson, though, right? You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, right? It's just like everybody needs to be aware because, like, man, if you find somebody that can come play that role for him for you know what I'm saying, a couple of years, then now you're dangerous, right? Because if I can have a stout defense and have an offense that's productive, I can win the SWAC. You know what I'm saying? So I can win the Celebration Bowl. You feel me? Yeah. So Bama State is one of them teams that's on that trajectory, right? You know what I'm saying? So they're in a good spot right now.
And I think that if you look at culture, I posted this on our Twitter yesterday. You're talking about he's undefeated in every Classic he's played. Magic City, Port City, the MEAC SWAC Challenge, which is in the Classic, and then you're undefeated in the Circuit Day Classic. If he gets that SWAC championship, it's gonna be a problem. You're gonna have to consider him as one of the best coaches, and some people probably do right now as one of the best coaches in SWAC. But you know, you talk about getting at least. I think next year what success looks like for Alabama State is you got to make the SWAC championship, or as we said in our podcast the other night with the Golden Boot, you got to at least be one game out of it. You got to be in the mix. That's the next step.
And then let's just say you end with a better record, and let's just say we really don't talk about this, but the FCS playoffs start calling.
Right.
You never know. Like it's something. It's something to build on for you know what I'm saying for the next season, for the foreseeable future. Hold on, before we get to it, we finish out. Jackson State is up 71-67 on Arkansas State with 2.5 minutes left in the game.
Y'all took our coach too. That we got beef on that too.
Hey man,
you can't take the coach that walked away.
Y'all didn't want him.
Hey, he didn't want to be there.
The coach that walked away. That's the thing. It wasn't really. You really take him. He wanted to go back to Jackson. Let's be clear. You know what I'm saying?
all pettiness aside, he's doing a good job at Jackson State. I gotta say that, doing a great job. They're gonna be a force if Jackson State basketball can make the tournament. If they can make the tournament, they're gonna scare some people for sure.
Yeah, it just sucks that Deshaun Ruffin, he ACL injury, man. Right before the season started, it kind of sucked, but I mean, they persevered. Hey, look what we did.
Almost beat Georgetown.
Yes, should have beat Georgetown because of the way the game was called.
Mo has taken time too. That's another. You keep talking about these coaches, right? This is another example, right? This is what his year 3 at Jackson State.
2.
Year 2. Mm-hmm. Okay, right. So year 2, right? And now we're seeing something in the beginning of this year, right? You know what I'm saying? I think Jackson's middle of the pack last year, right? You know what I'm saying? But now you're seeing something in the beginning of this year. You say, okay, you see Jackson on the rise, right? So I think that it's the same thing that we've been talking about with the football coaches that we also see here, right? Like at the end of the day, you know what I mean? People need time to build the programs that they want to build. Now, I'm also at the same standpoint on the end that, like, you also can clearly see sometimes you're regressing at the end of the day. What you want to see is, like, progress. Like, in year 2, you should be seeing progress moving upward, right? You know what I mean? Like you talked about Dooley, you like, man, you look like Dooley's regressing. You know what I mean? Now, do you want to pay that money to get him out of his contract? I mean, hey, listen, I'm with PV, so Southern in disarray, I don't care. It's fine with me, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? But, at the end of the day, he was regressing. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So that is what it is. You know.
Shout out to Tamika Reed.
Oh yeah, shout out to Coach Reed. Coach Reed is, man, look, I don't know how she.
How long y'all gonna be able to keep her? How long y'all gonna be able to keep her? Because at some point, one of these high schools is gonna be throwing a bag.
Hey man, look, we gonna figure out something, man. We gotta figure something out though. I think AD Robinson gonna do something, and shout out to AD Robinson. Shout out to y'all, AD Cable.
Shout out to Cable.
Tamika, holla at me. Holla at me, Tamika. I got Anton Golf on the other line. Holla at me. We got you.
Oh, shout out to Anton Golf, man. Look, hey, y'all, look, yeah. Three of the best, ADs is out there. Hakeem McClellan over at Mississippi Valley. You got AD Paul Bryant over at Alabama A&M. Sure, I can't even say anything too much bad about Reggie Thiz. He doing double duty. You know what I'm saying? He doing double duty. He an AD and the head basketball coach. Like, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to them. They getting all the stuff that they need with all the issues that they was having early in the year. Just to talk, speak about Bethune-Cookman, like all the stuff that was going on, the Ed Reed situation and stuff like that. They seemed like they bounced back. It was a rough season for them with Raymond Woody as their first-year head coach. But I think the way you see this team right here, they're on the rise. And if y'all hear something in the background, it's the fire truck going through.
And while we're talking basketball, let me not, let me not leave PV out of the, spotlight, because we do got 4 wins this season, 3 D1 wins, So we doing a little something. I know y'all give us some credit to Mo Williams, when he ain't won no SWAC championship like Byron Smith.
Oh, we getting there though.
So
don't worry about it. We getting there.
I want just make it clear, since we're giving all the accolades and praise, make sure we give some praise to PV. That's why I'm here, to make sure we get that respect that we deserve. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
So let's shift to the SWAC championship game. Prairie View versus FAMU. We already seen what happened first time around, October the 28th. What I call it a whitewashing. Yeah, I'm where most people say 45-7, but the way Coach McDowell put it, he was like, "Look, we was in the game in the first half, and then in the second half they just ran away with it." What do you see as far as it takes with the game for this Saturday?
I want to get y'all opinion. I want to hear what y'all got to say. You know what I'm saying? For our share.
I'm praying for a Prairie View win. I'm not gonna lie, for a couple of reasons. But no, all seriousness, I think that FAMU, this is Coach Simmons' time to, it's because it kind of feels like the only reason that FAMU wasn't able to win the SWAC championships because Deion Sanders was standing in the way in Jackson State, and they played them. They always played them so early in the season. There was never opportunity for both the teams to be at their absolute best when they play each other. So I'm expecting FAMU to show up and show out because that atmosphere is tough to play in. Tallahassee and Bragg Memorial Stadium is no joke. With the way those fans come out, I don't know how many fans are going to be out there and students because, it is the break and then, who goes home, who stays. But I'm expecting Jeremy Musa to come out and play one of his best games of the season.
Okay. When it comes down to it, I always gonna look at it with Trayvon because it starts to finish with him, man. With Trayvon Collins. I mean, just do what you do. Do what you do best. You're a dual threat quarterback. Use your legs, use your arm. Get yourself out of certain situations by using either one. But make sure that you keep your team. You got to start off fast. It got to be fast. You got to get like at least 2 or 3 scores on FAMU in order for you to, you know what I'm saying? I want you to say coast before they even think about waking up. So that's what I see. And then with the defense, Keyshawn Johnson, who was another all SWAC second team snub right there, which it sucks right there. He's the headliner, you know what I'm saying? He's the anchor of the defense, plays the Mike's position. The defense they gotta go out there and play. And it's really not about when it comes down to FAMU this season, it's really not about their passing game because to me, their passing game does not really scare me. I'm gonna be honest with you, Musa don't scare me. As a quarterback, Musa does not scare me. It's what they can do with the running backs and the other weapons that they have on the team. And you just got to make sure you can limit those. Make FAMU one-dimensional. They were pretty much almost dead last again this season in the SWAC in rushing offense, make them one-dimensional. Get the ball out of Musa, get the ball out of Musa's hand. And you want to do a quick 3 and out with that defense for Prairie View. You want to do a quick 3 and out on defense and get the ball in the hands of Trayvon Conley and sustain long drives, tire out that defense for FAMU. And I think that's the way they'll win the game.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, with 53 seconds left in the second quarter, last game, it was 14-7. We got the ball on FAMU's 36-yard line. We throw an interception that they return to their 22. They scored before the half. The game, that's the wrap, right? We never recovered from that knockout blow at the end of the day, right? But as far as you're saying in the 2 quarters, you know what I'm saying? If we talk about the first 29 minutes and 20 seconds, or whatever it was, like it's a 14-7 game. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely think we got a chance of winning this game. I definitely think we're going to win this game. I think we have the ability to move the ball on FAMU, especially running the ball. We had offensive lineman that was out that game. Obviously, we had our top running back, Amon Antoine, that was out that game. Caleb Johnson got knocked out. He had put up, 47 yards up to that point in the second quarter. So, I mean, we were gashing him. Then you also had Connor Wisham that went out in that same game, right? So we literally we were literally playing our freshman running back, right, by the time the game was over in the third quarter. So I think it's a completely different game this time. We also had, Juice wasn't playing that game. We had Shamar Savage, Megatron Jr., Keyshawn Johnson, this is another guy who's in that same You know what I'm saying? That same type of weapon, right? We don't use him like Bama State use him, right? But he has that body type, that ability to make plays like that. But me, I don't want to see Conley running the ball. I don't want to see Conley lose his legs at all. What I want to see is Conley and the offensive coordinator using a short passing game. Because instead of Conley running, I want to see Juice Jenkins running, right? You know what I'm saying? Instead of Conley running, I want to see a screen pass to Samar Savage, right? That's what I would prefer, is to use a short passing game to extend the running game, which is only going to help what we want to do anyway, which is throw the ball over top, right? To Spiller, to Bloomfield, right? So to me, that's what I would prefer. And that's what I haven't seen us do consistently. So the two things that scares me about this game is just the passing. You know, our passing game and FAMU's passing game at the end of the day. Our front seven is been balling the last, 5-6 games of the year. They've been playing very well. One snub that we have, which a part of it is on us, is because we ain't got the stats correct. And I know the SWAC, all they're doing is looking at stats. Well, they should be, because Bubba should have won, right? But anyway, supposedly that's all they do is look at stats. But Derrick Ray Jr., he really has 8.5, 9 sacks, right? If you go back and look at the tape of the film, he's either number 1 or number 2 in sacks in the SWAC, right? He's only listed at 4, though. You know what I'm saying? Now, again, part of it's probably on us and us getting our stats right. You know what I'm saying? I know Alcorn was a horrible job at the stats when I look back at the game from that game. But at the end of the day, I know he sees that. I know he's upset about that snub, right? And so I know the front four is going to show up. I don't think Moose is going to have the time to throw the ball as he did last game, right? When I look back at the game, I saw, there's many times we brought pressure, you know what I mean? And man, he was kind of a little shaky, right? You know what I'm saying? But we didn't put him on the ground enough. And I think this game, we're gonna have a game plan in place to put him on the ground. But it comes down at the end of the day to our back end, and it comes down to kind of, like you say, in our passing game. If we can get the ball to our playmakers, we're going to be able to run the ball, but can we get the ball to our wide receivers consistently? You know what I'm saying? And let them make plays. If put it like this, if Conley has 14 to 18 receptions, like actual, you know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about attempts, I'm talking about completions. We won this game. Like, we won this game. If I see anywhere between 14 to 18 completions, we won this game, because I haven't seen them do that consistently throughout this year. They haven't, put the ball in playmakers' hands consistently. But if we do that, like, they make plays. That's why I don't understand why we don't do some of the stuff Fam does or some of the stuff Grambling does, even Alabama State, right? You know what I'm saying, with Keyshawn, like, because if we just get the ball in the playmakers' hands, they make plays. Our problem is being consistently getting in the ball. Like Alabama State be 5 for 11. That's crazy. That only makes sense. 5 for 11. Now we win the game, but you got to get the playmakers the ball more than 5 times a game, man. Like, some of your best, most dynamic playmakers are at the wide receiver position, and we don't get in the ball consistently. So, but with all that said, like, listen, we gonna win the game. That's all I gotta say. We're gonna win this game. I don't care about homecoming 2.0, all this stuff Fam saying. Listen, this is exciting to me, because the last time we won a SWAC championship, it was raining. And last time I looked at the forecast,
2009, it was cold too.
And I was there in Birmingham. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? I was there in the field. So listen, all I'm saying is even the weather trying to tell y'all what's about to happen. You feel me? So
first and foremost, shout out to my boy KJ Black. KJ Black, he was a starting quarterback on that team right there for Prairie.
Yes, sir.
And who's the Donald Babers was the running back. Yep. So that was a great time for Prairie View.
Great team, man.
And when it comes down to it, I know Khalil, you're younger than us, but if Prairie View wins the SWAC, and let's just say they go to the Celebration Bowl, what you hear about from what happened from mid-'89 all the way up to 98, all that gets washed away down the drain. That the 80 game losing streak that is on record. It's going to be on record, but you're not going to hear about that. You're not going to see it. You're not going to really hear about that. But I know all the pundits want the FAMU to get there because they know if they go to FAMU, get there and play Howard, it's really an all MEAC. It's really gonna be an all MEAC Celebration Bowl anyway. It's really gonna be an all MEAC Celebration Bowl. But just get Prairie View to the Celebration Bowl, and they win this game. They get to the Celebration Bowl. It washes all the past sins away. And then if they win the Celebration Bowl, that meant hell done froze over.
No, sir. No, sir. That's incorrect. Listen, like I be telling people just don't pay attention. You know what I'm saying? The team with the bet, y'all go back, add up all the records for 2000 to 2023. Who got the best winning percentage in the SWAC from 2000? So listen, since we got scholarships back at the beginning of this century, we got the best winning percentage. The only reason that people don't recognize that is because we haven't broke through and won a SWAC championship more, right? But listen, people picked up the finish fifth. We've never finished less than third place ever since 2000. We've never finished less than third place. You know what I'm saying? So the stuff people be saying and doing, like how they was talking about Texas Southern, like Texas Southern ain't been good since we've been born. Like, but people will pick Texas Southern when they have a horrible program. And listen, I mean, for my people at Texas Southern, I love y'all. Y'all got a horrible program. Like, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. But they talk about Prairie View as if we got a horrible program, but we don't. Like, we have been very competitive all the time, right? We just got to break through. That's why this is important. It's not important because of the 80-game winning streak. It's just important because if we break through and win, right, this can be the beginning of a new legacy, especially when you got Southern, Graham, and Texas Southern right now trying to go through whatever they're trying to deal with. So you're talking about setting it up for us to be able to control the SWAC West for the next 2, 3, 4, or 5 years, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's important, because to me, you need to win when you're supposed to win. Those years, especially when it's SWAC down, that's when you're really supposed to get things going, right? That's like Alcorn taking care of business on the East, you know what I'm saying, when they had the ability to, right? When it was down. That's what you're supposed to do, though. But nobody cares. Nobody looks back and is like, oh, man, well, Alcorn won that year because really, no, nobody care about that. It's just like Alcorn won 4 in a row. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, when they was in the East, and the East wasn't all that, you know, wasn't
exactly.
It wasn't.
But they handled their business.
Gladiator. It wasn't the gladiator section of the SWAC. Man, but if you really think about this, though, the common denominator for this game is Willie Simmons, because why he had hands on both programs. The man, when he got the head coaching job from at Prairie View from I think who was it? Was it Heishman? Was Heishman Heich Norton? Yeah, when he got the job from him, I think the first season they won. Because I researched this. I had to research this. Because the first season you won, I think you won 6 games, if I'm not mistaken.
What you talking about? What, Heich? Willie Simmons. I'm not sure. Let me see. I think that first year, Willie Simmons was what? 2014, 2015?
2014.
7-4, 7-2 in conference.
So 2015. 2015, he go 8-2. Now they didn't count the one game,
right?
Because the team that they played wasn't sanctioned by the NCAA. So
we lost to Grambling,
lost to Grambling,
and that's the year that Grambling went on to
the Celebration
West, right?
7-2. 7-4 his second year, 6-5 his third year. And you can say it was kind of going down a little bit, but I mean, you got to understand the man was still building something. You got to, and like you said, y'all just got your full allotment of scholarships the turn of the century. Then he gets the FAM, He gets FAM in 2018. He was 6-5 because he's taking over a horrible FAMU team. When I say horrible, it was throw them in the trash horrible. It was dump the juice horrible. That's how horrible FAMU was before he took over that team. He goes 6-5 in 2018. 2019, he goes 9-2. Now he was first, but because they was on APR sanctions, they didn't get to go to the Celebration Bowl. North Carolina A&T got to the Celebration Bowl. 2020, it wasn't no team because it was COVID. So that's in the MEAC. 21, he gets to the SWAC. 9-3, 9-2, 10-1. So every year this man has been at FAMU. He has improved every year. 9-3, go to the playoffs. 9-2 last season. Could have went to the playoffs. The resume didn't speak for itself. And then this season, 10-1 because they felt like, look, we didn't get into the playoffs last season. It's Celebration Bowl or bust now. We ain't got to worry about none of that stuff. And he's done a tremendous job. The man is 64. The man is 64-24 overall.
Yeah, crazy. Great record.
The man and because Coach McDowell was on his staff also. If I'm not mistaken, am I correct? Coach McDowell was on his staff.
Yeah, Coach McDowell's been there for, I believe, 13 years total now.
Mm-hmm. Gets the job, and look what he's doing. He took Prairie View to the SWAC championship game to play against his former boss. I mean, you gotta put it just like that. But it's gonna make for a great game. I'll be down there. I'll be down there this weekend. So we're trying to get all this money so we can get it sent out so we have gas and food and stuff. Yeah, man,
I'm happy you'll be there in person. So you get to see it and describe it to all the FAMU rattlers after it happened. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cause I'm just be honest with you. I'm be honest with you. Prairie View gonna bring the marching storm. It's supposed to be raining there. That's a good combination. You know, I get to hear the P-Funk get played up in the stands. You know what I'm saying? I tell this story, man. I tell the story today. My aunt tried to get me to go to Prairie View. She's a Prairie View alum. I said at the time I couldn't go because I wanted to go somewhere where they won. But you gotta realize, I tell people, I graduated high school in the late 90s. I graduated high school in 1997.
That's the highest, yeah.
That was the height of where that was close. It was going down. You know, they were getting ready to
right out. Yeah, right.
From losing to getting their first win against Langston. But I was like, no. I go to every State Fair Classic. You know, I'm like, no. I just want to go somewhere where we actually win a game. And I went to Jackson State, and so as a student at Jackson State, our freshman year, we played, just being a football fan, we played Alabama State. It was the first game of the season at Legion Field. And the first play I seen was Corey Bradford streaked down the field for 80 yards. That was the first play.
That's crazy.
That was the first play. 80 yards for a touchdown. I went to school with NFL players. Corey Bradford, shout out to Corey Bradford, shout out to Sylvester Morris, shout out to Destry Wright, all the dudes from there, Jackson State back in the day. Like I went to school with, you know, that had some dogs on the team. And it was one of them things where, like, man, look, we run this SWAC until we play Southern, and Southern. This is Southern's year. This is Southern time when Pete Richardson was the head coach. Pete Richardson, head coach, he dominated he pretty much dominated the 90s. And it was just one of them fun times. Now I get full circle, go to a SWAC championship game to see a Texas school and a Florida school duke it out, and we can say who got the better football state? Who the better football state? Is it Texas or is it Florida? We got my girl Jess up in here. We got Miss Jess Cornelius. What's going on?
I think you're looking for Chaminade versus Duncanville or something. If you want to see who got the better, you're looking for the better football. You know what I'm saying? Them high school games. Yeah.
So I got a question for Alabama. Who's the best team in Alabama right now for high school?
High school?
Yeah.
Thompson.
That's in
It's in Alabaster.
Alabaster?
Yeah, it's like probably about 30, 40 minutes from Hoover.
Okay. Okay, you said Thompson.
They have that Alabaster box.
Yeah, they've been. I think they've won like 4. I graduated high school in 2019. They've won every state championship since 2019.
So wow, 4
Well, I mean, I guess you Hoover is still in the mix, but y'all know George Pickens that plays for the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
He's from Hoover.
Oh, you talking about NFL young boy?
Yeah, NFL young boy. He graduated from Hoover High School.
Man. So of course, here in Texas, you got Duncanville. Shout out to Trayvon. He's a Duncanville Panther. Keyshawn Johnson the same. He went to Duncanville also. You got schools like DeSoto. Got my alma mater, Cedar Hill. You got go down to Houston, North Shore, of course. You got
now, Doc. Why you putting Cedar Hill in the conversation?
First of all, we got 3 of them things. We could have had 4 when we got blown back by Katie in 2020. We could have had 4 of them things. Now we got.
I'm surprised you named Katie. You know what I'm saying?
I put Katie out there. Okay.
You know, now South Lake Carolina fell off. You know what I'm saying? But
they ain't fall off. They ain't fall off. They still.
As far as I mean, they still in the mix, but they ain't in the mix like they was. You know what I'm saying? You go back.
They still rolling.
18 years ago.
They still rolling. Allen. They still
Allen, Lake Travis, Westlake.
Westlake.
Yeah.
You go to San Antonio. You got what's the school out there? Alamo Heights, East Texas. I mean, aka Beach, Texas. You got Lufkin. You got Longview, Marshall, Dangerfield, Carthage, Gilmer. You got a lot of schools, and then then like I said, and then let me not forget South Oak Cliff, because they is in the mix right now. They is in the mix because they going for 3 in a row.
Oak Cliff been doing their thing. Yeah, my aunt's from the Dallas area, and she got a subdivision out there in Oak Cliff, so they've been killing. Yeah, man. So Khalil, if you ever come to Texas, We'll make sure that you have a good time. You got to come to the State Fair Classic, because that's the time around the State Fair. Walk around, get you a turkey leg, get you all the funnel cake, get you everything that you need to get, and then go into a game and go into the stadium, go to a historic stadium, the Cotton Bowl, and enjoy a good game between two good schools. I mean, traditional schools. So I've never been to a Magic City Classic, so
you gotta come to one for sure.
Yeah, me either. I've never been. That's the one classic I ain't been to. Been to Bayou plenty of times.
I've been to the Bayou Classic.
I ain't been to Magic City.
Y'all definitely gotta come to Magic City. I feel like it's the biggest classic in the world, but you know how they gonna feel about the Bayou Classic, but those 2 classics are up there. And to see all those people come out, I've been going to Classic since I was like 2 years old. So it's to see it evolve. It's a great experience. Y'all definitely got to come to the Magic Classic.
Yeah, I gotta make my way to the Magic City Classic. I gotta, of course, I've been to the Southern, go to the Southern Heritage Classic because there ain't no but up the road. When I was in Jackson, in Memphis, State Fair Classic. I ain't been to the Labor Day Classic yet. For Prairie View, Texas Southern, and I'm doing a disservice to my Texas folks.
Listen, I love my university, but the Labor Day ain't on that level. You know what I'm saying? Like the State Fair Classic,
it ain't on that level when they was playing.
It
ain't on that level when they were playing in the Astrodome though. When they were playing the Astrodome, they used to be rocking in the Astrodome. But that was like a long ass time ago.
But I mean, I think those three that we just named to me, you know what I'm saying? I guess you probably Florida people throw the Florida Classic in there, right? But them four is like them the four to me. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the best classics, you know what I'm saying, across the board. But
yeah, I gotta go to the Florida Classic too. I think I already told Willie I gotta make my way down to Orlando. Only been in Orlando like twice, so but I ain't never been to that class, so I gotta make my way down there. Oh man, it's another coach that I forgot that's on a hot seat because the way that his season ended, and that's Eddie George. Eddie George was 6-2 at the beginning towards the middle of October, and he lost the last three. And he lost the last game against Tennessee Tech 35-0. What do y'all think about that, man? With Eddie.
yeah, I mean, I don't think he's on the hot seat. You know what I'm saying? I really think he getting the treatment that Hue Jackson, a little bit closer to what I feel like Hue Jackson should have got. So I don't really think on the hot seat for that. I think he's on the hot seat. If he is on the hot seat, is more because of his commentary regarding the fan, regarding the fan base. That's what I would say. But I don't think he's on the hot seat because of, because he lost the last two games. I think that was unfortunate because they was in a really good spot. I think if they would have closed it out, they would have definitely been on a bubble right to get in the FCS playoffs, and I would have loved that too as well to see them get to play. But I don't really think I don't think that would be the reason he on a hot seat at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? But man, I appreciate you having me on. I'm gonna have to jump off. You know what I'm saying? I gotta go get with the wife. You feel me?
All right.
Appreciate you. You know
anytime. We're gonna have to jump back on. When is your show? Next show?
We're gonna be on tomorrow. I actually got Reggie Stubblefield coming on for the show tomorrow at 7. Former cornerback at PV. And also at Kansas State is a Grey Cup winner this year with the Montreal Alouettes right in his first year. So we got him on the show tomorrow. We're going to be interviewing him. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about breaking down the game upcoming too. So y'all come join us, you know what I'm saying, at the PV Nation over at PV versus everybody. You know what I'm saying? But appreciate you, Doc. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate you, man. Anytime. Yeah, that's my guy, Lionel. PV versus everybody, man. Y'all make sure y'all tune in and subscribe to him. Y'all, man, we had a good talk right here. We talk about culture openings. We talk about just a lot of things. Talk about football.